Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of international rugby. This one, England versus Fiji at Twickenham Stadium. Now, England come in as heavy favourites for this contest. The Fijians, they are the type of side, though, that when they go head-to-head with anyone around the world of rugby, they love to cause an upset. You look through at the starting lineup, someone like a Tui Sova, Salisi Reasi, playing at 15 for them, Ravatomanda. There are plenty of talented players across this Fijian side, but looking through first of all at the home side, England, for this matchup. They are going to be as follows. In the front row, it is Alice Genge partnering with Luke Cowan-Dickie and Joe Hayes as their number 3. Alex Coles and Ollie Chisholm will make up the locking duo, which means that Maro Itoje will be making his way off the bench rather than in the starting lineup for this match. Guy Pepper gets himself another start at 6. Actually did pretty well up against the Wallabies last week. Ben Earl slots in at 7, and Chandler Cunning himself, he is there as the number 8. Alex Mitchell alongside Finn Smith as that 9-10 combination for the English. Dingwall and Lawrence in the middle of the field. And then Fiua Bosso, Tommy Freeman, and then also Marcus Smith. He will be playing 15. So quite a reshuffle compared to what we saw in the last match for the English up against Australia, where they were able to get themselves the victory. Whereas for Fiji, this is their first game in action. They've got a couple tough games just around the corner as well for the Fijians. They are going to be taking on, I believe it is France, and then also Spain, I want to say, as the last game for them. But looking through at the starting lineup, it will be Aroni Maui alongside Tavita Ikanaveri and Masaki Donge starting in as that number 3. Now, Tavita Ikanaveri, he is one of the best Fijian hookers that they have on offer at the moment, but he also seems to be quite competitive when it comes to international hookers at this current point of game. Definitely his ball running is one thing that has been thoroughly impressive from Tavita Ikanaveri. As of late, I saw Nasila Silla alongside Timo Maya Navanua. They are the locking duo. Kitioni Salawa, Ilya Tharakaivata, and Viliami Mata. That is the loose forward trio for the Flying Fiji. And Simeone Kuravuli gets the start at 9 with Caleb Muntz starting in at 10. Now, Muntz is also going to be at the helm for this contest. Him and Kuravuli, such a vital role to play when you are going head-to-head up against the experience of Mitchell and the X-factor of Finn Smith. You want to be making the right decisions. And at a stadium like Twickenham, you can't afford to have too many mistakes. I feel like we did see that in the game between New Zealand and Scotland just before. Scotland had a great chance to try and get themselves the win. Then just a couple little errors at the wrong times ended up costing them the contest. Joshua Tuisova, he is in the midfield alongside Kalaveti Ravovo. Then Gita Wainanyolo, Celestino Ravatomanda, and also Salisi Reasi. He is there as that number 15. Looking through at the chat, we have got there Tosafiti Toso. Let's play with some urgency. Fiji says Mr. Billy raises halftime talks. Must be bad though. Yet again, ABs have a poor second half, says DG. Although to be fair, up against the Irish last week, they actually had one of their best second halves that they've had in a long time. But that cannot be said about the one for the Scottish. We have got there, have you slept, Hamish? I have not slept. We've had about, I'd say, 15 minutes since our last live stream or somewhere around there. Where you got our rugby slate tonight. Says, I am nutty. We are hoping to this match. And then South Africa versus France just around the corner too. That game is going to be absolutely incredible. And hopefully a great way to finish off a busy international rugby day. I don't think England beating a tired Australian team means too much. Fiji should win if they play well. Says Stephen, you really do hate England, don't you, Stephen? No matter what happens around the rugby world, no matter what game we are talking about, you always find a way of dissing England, even though you're from England. We have there, I'm trying to figure out if I should watch this match or Italy versus Australia. We have got there, Italy versus Australia will be a better game. Australia are in a different league to England when they play well, says Stephen. Had to get us little jab in again, of course. Hope Fiji win this game. Go Fiji from South Africa, says Martin. And also, bro, nailing the names. Kudos, mate, says V. And there is, oh yeah, a lot of these Fijian players we have been covering for quite some time, not just in the Pacific Championships, or Pacific Nations Cup, I should call it, alongside the Fijian Rua season of Super Rugby Pacific. Your star mate doing God's work, says Big Boys. And also we have got the hi Hamish, how's the tissue supply doing? I think this is going to be a decent game, says Philip Bailey. And there as well, yeah, hopefully the nose isn't going to run too much, although I can still feel like might a little bit. For this one, anyone who doesn't know, I have currently got a cold, unfortunately. So we are trying to deal with that while also doing about 8 or 9 hours of commentary as well. What games next week? So there are a lot of matches taking place next week. In fact, what we will do is we'll go like that. There you go. Those are all the matches that I have anyway as potential ones on the channel. We've got Belgium versus Brazil. That will be an interesting one now that we have seen Belgium actually get themselves the victory over the Namibians. Samoa will be playing Namibia, which I thought initially would be the game that decided the whole competition for the qualifications, but now it looks like Belgium-Samoa could be that match with all the importance. South Africa, they are playing up against the Italians. Next week, we see Fiji up against the French, and England, they will be playing New Zealand. So a couple big matches there for the two sides taking part in this contest. And you want to get that big win under the belt here. Fiji have been able to do it at Twickenham before. We saw that massive win not too long ago. One moment, I am about to sneeze. But while I am sneezing, or at least trying to sneeze, we will put the benches on the screen as well. There we go. We are good. We also sneezed that hard that it made it blurry. But in the English bench, it is Jamie George, Finn Baxter, and also Apoku Forger, whose name hopefully I have said correctly in that regard. Maro Itoje and Tom Curry making their way off the bench alongside Henry Pollock. So they have gone with that 6-2 split here for the English. Ben Spencer and Harry Arundel there as that number 23 for the Fijians. Real Tongi Otame, Hiriti Tit, and Samu Tuake as the 18. Saki Dhothi at 19 with Matakai Murray at 20. Then Y, Armstrong, Ravula, and Mangwala as at number 23. But those are the starting lineups for this contest, as well as the reserves, ladies and gentlemen. Agree, Brett. ABs have lost their attacking mojo. And we have got there's no way ABs will beat England playing like this. Are there any South African surnames in this game? Not really, no. Don't think so. Although there will be a lot of South African surnames, of course, in the next game between South Africa and the French. Flying Fijians says the keystone there. What are the Scotland was the All Blacks, says Kyle. Did you go to the doctor? I did not go to the doctor in the 15-minute period between the two streams, but I did have something to eat. Did you chug that yogurt, Bruce, says Stephanie. And also, thank you, mate, says Onisimo, no worries at all. Of course, a nice early morning start for you guys in Fiji. I'm not too bothered about who wins this game. Only here to listen to Hamish and his sneezing, says Bruce. And come on, Fiji, and upset. And Razor needs to get grips with his halftime chats. Says Big Boy Games. You know, is red. Do you support England, says Martin? No, I've just had a pretty bad cold. But it is getting more and more red. I would say by the end of the day, it is going to be as bright as that carpet that they have got laid down out there on the field, and perhaps as bright as the red rose on the English kit. Bloody D-Max says the Hobbit there. I guess go the Flying Fijian, says Russell. So, of course, let me know who you think will win this game. Ladies and gents, and your score prediction in that regard, looking through at what these two sides have got coming up. For the Fijians, they have got this game, of course, up against the English, where they come in as massive underdogs. They will then play France next week, and then they have got Spain the week after that. For the English, they were able to get themselves the victory up against the Australians last contest. That was just last weekend, and actually a really impressive second half from the English. They found themselves 10 points to 7 ahead at halftime. Went on to win that game 25-7. Two tough games, though, up against other rugby championship sides, and New Zealand and also Argentina just around the corner too. Looking at what England did in the Six Nations, they were able to finish second in the overall standings, just the 1 point behind the French. Now, they were able to hand France their lone loss in the Six Nations competition, but it wasn't quite enough to get themselves that number one spot. For the Fijians, they were able to finish top of their group in Pool A of the Pacific Nations Cup, and then alongside that also getting themselves the win in the final up against the Japanese after beating, I believe it was the Canadians in the semi-final of the competition. A razor lacking edge. I'm supporting Fiji, says Martin there. And Fiji will beat the English, says Peter Stowers. But we have had the last post played. Now there are going to be the national anthems of these two sides. It sounds like it is going to be the Fijian national anthem first. Let me know who you think will be able to score the first try in this contest. I think that if Fiji manage to do it, it will be someone in that wider channel of the field. Gita Waininyolo or Celestino Ravotomanda. Perhaps are great choices. I feel like Joshua Tuisova, don't get me wrong, he's such a dangerous ball runner, but he doesn't score a lot of tries in that 12 jersey. Normally he's setting up the guys on his outside where we would normally see someone like Ganaya Thalevu, but in this case it is Kalaveti Ravovo, who is alongside him. Go Fiji Go, says Asoa. And it's 5:35 a.m. here in the islands. And Vanaka says outdoor Fiji guy. Yeah, so early morning start for you guys in Fiji. Is it raining in France? I'm not actually too sure of the French weather at this stage, but as we get closer to the Stade de France kickoff, of course, we will be letting you know. Never seen Fiji play in blue before, says I am nutty. I think, when was their last game that they played in the blue? It's not completely the same kit as they've had in the past. I think they played in this one similar to it last year, but there was a bit more black on the kit as well. Supporting Fiji, but English going to smash them last 20 minutes, says Clint D. And that is where Fiji will know that they need to come out firing in this matchup. They cannot afford to make mistakes early. I will mention there's also another game kicking off at the exact same time as this one. That is Italy versus Australia. So I'll be letting you know what has taken place in both of the matches while we are at it. And Fiji will do it again, says Ralulu there. And Hamish no Radradra, where is he? I'm not actually sure where Radradra is for this match. I know that he is, of course, tied up with overseas clubs, but this is in the international rugby window, so I feel like they get away with that a little bit. And does Fiji have access to all players? Some, but not all, I would say at this stage. There are quite a few Fijian guys who are still missing from this team. Toso Fetitoso says Reavalu, I should say. And also Fiji is a tough team, says Martin. They certainly are. They will bring physicality to this matchup. Will be South African surnames in Italy versus Australia, I reckon, says Clint D. There won't be a massive amount of them, though. I think there's more Australians in the Italian team than there are South Africans. We're about to see the Fiji. Before we do get underway, I wanted to see Earl at 12, and there is still time. I mean, there might be a couple little rotation situations that we see for England. It seemed like they weren't opposed to trying it out in the match last week up against Australia. Kangaroos still rules the Rugby League universe, says Tim. Yeah, getting themselves the good win. I think it was about 30 points to 6, wasn't it, with the win over England. He's a fine player. He's set the English Orem alight a few years ago. We'll be playing the game. We will be doing the play-by-play commentary. Any match footage or audio will get us taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike, but we will be letting you know exactly what is happening out there on the field each and every moment. And Toso Fetitoso says Sakiusa there as well. Ready to set up for the Thipi before the match does get underway here. Fiji, what looks like a pretty packed Twickenham crowd for this contest. Fiji backline plays sevens. Says Martin, I've had a couple guys in that 7 setup before. Jita Wainyolo, he has got an Olympic gold medal under his belt, I believe. Savalastino Ravotomande, he attempted to get the gold at the last Olympics. Did you play cricket today? I did. I was initially going to be missing out because of the fact that I'm sick. So it meant that I was hoping to take the day off cricket, but they would have been short without me there, so I ended up playing, which probably wasn't a great idea because I did feel a lot worse afterwards, but we got through it and we won the game, so that's the main thing. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. There we go. And Twickenham is a bit second rate as a stadium. Says Stephen, I feel like you just complain about everything, Stephen. I think it's one of the better stadiums around when it comes to rugby. I mean, it's literally nicknamed the home of rugby. My Spanish girlfriend is asking you to quote Andorra. Scores, says I am nutty. 1 second, we'll find it. It's currently not showing for me. It's got no update on the score, even though it started at 5. So it started about an hour 40 ago, but I got no score. And Twickenham is a bit, I read that one, and Fiji ends with spit. Says DG, I see the Brazilian soccer team thrash Samoa 48-0. Samoa beating Brazil 48-10 in rugby. And I did see that Belgium beat Namibia, which they weren't really supposed to. I saw that Namibia did come in as the slight favourites in that contest, but Belgium winning comfortably, and now that game up against Samoa could be the difference maker. One of those two sides, of course, making it through to the World Cup and the others missing out. About 5 English ex-internationals just played for Toulon. Says, I am nutty there. Caleb Muntz giving the crowd a little bit of a wave on the big screen here. Big opportunity for him in that Fiji at number 10 jersey. He is going head-to-head with Finn Smith. So a battle of the young 10s. Both have bright futures in their country's colours. We've got their ABs winning again without playing great. They could get found out against the English, though. Says Vlad and Namibia had no bribe to take out French number 9. Says I am nutty. Now we have got there as Brazil out. Brazil, because they've lost that first game, they are more than likely out. Like, it would take a miracle for them to win the repechage from here. They would have to rely on pretty much everyone having upset wins along the way and them heavily increasing their points differential, seeing as it's just a round robin type of competition. But time is on. Paul Williams, the referee in charge, and England kicked this one off for the match at Twickenham Stadium. Nicely taken by Salesi Rayasi. And he will kick it downfield off his left boot, getting it into touch. England have the first line out of the day. This one will be about 42 metres out from the Fijian line. England, they had a decent start to the match up against the Australians, although they were only able to score themselves the one try in the first half. They'll be looking for a few more in this contest, getting 3 throughout the second half up against the Wallabies. That's a tackle off the ball from Asoana Silasila. Bit of a mistake made early when he tackled Joe Hayes. Didn't have any sort of possession in his hands. Now trying the attempt of the inside ball from Benio, and already the early penalty going the way of the Fijians, going the way of the English. And it looks like straight away England showing intent. They are kicking this one for the quarter. It's actually something we've seen a little bit more of from England throughout this November internationals period. They did it up against the Australians, turning down 3-pointers where the old England used to always take them on. It's a good thing New Zealand had a bad game. England are going to get punished, says Martin. That one's going to be kicked into touch by England. Joe Hayes, the man who did win that penalty for getting smashed by a Fijian. It's one of those ones that eventually you probably get sick of winning penalties like that because it starts to get a bit painful. But 15 metres out from the line, Luke Cowan-Dickie. We've got a scrum reset. A line-out reset. Gap was too big. And also Paul Williams just warning Alex Mitchell that he has to be back the 10 metres. Hello, everyone. Says Andy, welcome in. And now Luke Cowan-Dickie. Get the chance to throw this one. Should England let the laws be loosened? Vic, EU-based players, says I am nutty. It's a tricky one. Because I know that the main guy that people are talking about is Willis. But, it is a tricky one. I assume that they've got a pretty good reason for why they don't allow it. You would think, and I think that's down to trying to get people to stay in England. Similar to what we see from New Zealand. France allow it. Says I'm nutty there. That ball may not come out. Well defended by Fiji. It looks like that ball, yes, it is trapped in there. And Fiji managing to survive the first attempt. Also, Zach Mercer. That is very nicely done by the big Fijian forwards. It looks like Viliami Mata, the man who does get in there and win that early penalty, or early turnover, I should say. It will now be the scrum for the Fijians. See there, Byrne and also Aaron Manger watching on. Steve Borthwick, the head coach of England. I think it's too early for him to be worried about them missing out on the potential 3 points that they turned down to go for instead. Chance of the corner. A vote of French top 14 players moves back to England. Get no selection, so moves back to France. Says I am nutty, and I am probably within 1 metre from Twickenham. And cheering from Fiji. Says on the right. We've got another scrum reset. One moment. We're going to have to quickly... We are good. I'm cheering on Fiji, says Clint, and let's concentrate on the game now, says Martin. Yeah, we have got the scrum reset, which normally takes a good 90 seconds nowadays. Unfortunately, scrums are nowhere near as quick as they used to be. It used to be get the ball in, get the ball out. Nowadays, we've got to look at each other for 50 seconds before we decide to pack down. Now, Simeone Kuravuli ready to put this one in. Fiji have won their last 5 matches. Where's that? Yep, there we go. So they've never won 6 in history. So they are looking to change that record here. Simeone Kuravuli, 10 metres out from the line. Muntz kicking this one towards the sideline. And does get it into touch. England's line out. About the 35 metres from the line. As this line up, first game versus Australia. Says, I am nutty. Maybe. I don't when was the last time that Australia played Italy? It might have been last year, was it? But I can't remember whether or not he was actually playing in this game or in that game. And Donut still says Tim. And Go Fiji says Martin there. And also we've got the hi, Mr. Kiwi Sir. Are you feeling better? Not really, no. But we're still getting through. Now off to the left-hand side, England with the attack. Alex Mitchell passes across to Finn Smith. Does go with a short ball to Freeman instead. Great low tack on him. Made by Celestino Ravatomunda. Now, bounce pass. Going to Fiji. Waiboso. Hi, mate. You sound sick. That is correct, because I am. But now, Alex Mitchell. Back across to Ollie Chisholm. In fact, that time it was Alex Coles, the other man in the locking duo. Now Finn Smith goes to Marcus. Now in the midfield, it's going to be Lawrence. It's the ball up once more. Alex Mitchell. Genge, short ball. Smith linking up with the other Smith. They are actually working very nicely at the moment on attack here, England. Fiji getting out of that breakdown. Go Fiji, says Peter Stowers. Now Fiwaboso passes on the outside to Guy Porter. It's right next to the sideline. And 15 metres out, Finn Smith. Little short pop pass up to Chandler Cutting himself. Just couldn't quite get that offload away, but a crucial tackle made by Kitione Salawa. Flat ball from Mitchell. And now there's an advantage against Fiji for being offside. Ben Earls crawling towards the try line. I think Mitchell might have gotten cleaned out as he was trying to get back to that breakdown. Now big crash and run they go over, and it's Luke Cowan-Dickie who gets the first one. Well, so says Regine. Marcus Smith looking sharp. Yeah, him and Finn Smith already starting this match with a hiss and a roar in that combination. But Luke Cowan-Dickie gets on the scoreboard first. Fiji have come on in 15s over the last few years, hoping their funding is getting sorted. Fiji got the power and the speed. And Australia beat Italy 20 times before that, says Big Rig. Is your mustache red here, Hamish, or is it just dark here in South Africa? I don't think it's too red that I know of. That one has gone over, making the score now 7-0 in favour of the English. I see 3-0 in that game between Italy and Australia as well from Stephanie. And Italy take a penalty, says I am nutty. Just driving over. Luke Cowan-Dickie, great physicality. I could see what Davida Ikanavidi was trying to do. He was trying to kind of bring him over and hold him up so that they go back. Good start, says DG. And g'day, Hamish, Sydney, Australia in the house, says Peter Pehi, welcome in. A very, very poor defending by Fiji. Says Stephen, how's it? Says Yanko, welcome in. Oh, a little bit of a fumble there from Ollie Chisholm, but does regather and is tackled low by Viliami Mata, 30 metres out from the English line. And into the hands of Hayes. Looked like it was either him or Earl who were both going for that ball. Rolling this one back, Alex Mitchell. We have got there, try, says Big Rig. Oh, that's going to be knocked on by Fiwaboso. Well, dove on by, I think that was Celestino Ravatomunda. Now Simeone Kuravuli gets the offload away. That is where Fiji can be at their most dangerous, when they're keeping that ball alive and getting England's defence that little bit more scrambled than we are used to seeing. Normally, if you attack an English defensive line slowly, they'll have men in position. Whereas if they can just keep on throwing this ball around, they can use their pace and the power to create their own gaps. Davida Ikanaviri up to the halfway line. Tackled by Chandler Cutting himself. Go Fiji, go Australia, says Martin. And there as well, and playing with real confidence, says DG. Now, 8 minutes in, Simeone Kuravuli. Looks like, I think it was Joe Hayes staying down for a little bit, but that was just Dodge getting hit with the ball. It looked like a bit of blocking from Fiwaboso, and he will be penalised for it. Referee saw him. And that is going to give Fiji a chance at either 3 points or going for the corner. I'd like to see them go aggressive here, the Fijians. We know that England, that is their mindset. Yeah, so we see there Fiwaboso just changing his angle to try and block any chance of a Fijian player coming through and taking the ball. Well, at least the Box will win their game against France, says Bruce, and scoreboard is behind. Says Big Rig, 1 moment, we'll shake the mouse. There we go. Has now got itself sorted out. Looks like Fiji are going to be lining up the corner yet again. Something that we did see for them throughout the Pacific Nations Cup. And France is in fear. Says Martin, I don't know whether they're being fair. They're probably more so excited for that match. But I am going to quickly mute again. There we go. Now line out throw. Tavita Ikanaveri. Only sitting 25 seconds away from the 10 minutes. Nicely taken at the back for what would have been Kitioni Salawa. And I have a wonderful day, says Ulu, you too. Now moving forward. Oh, break it away. And Tavita Ikanaveri does score the try for Fiji. That gets them straight back into this contest. That is the danger I talked about him before the match. Tavita Ikanaveri, he is a world-class hooker. And they've got that one right, Fiji. Commentators have just said that Jason Robinson was a great player. Says Stephen there. And Upo, how many loose nose blows versus scoreboard. Says, I am nutty and Port Events from the Roses. Says Big Rick and Try, says Yanko there. And where South Africa is excited. Says Martin, and yes, Fiji. And what a straight back comeback from Fiji. Let's go, says Brett. Was that Peter Gus Soakula? I swear that looked like Peter Gus Soakula. But I think number 6 for this game was supposed to be Kitioni Salawa. But that looks so much like Peter Gus Soakula that now I'm starting to question whether or not it was. That one's going to miss away to the side for Caleb Muntz, making the score 7-5. So in favour of the English. Can I get a time call, please? So I can figure out the delay. So at the moment, I am 11 minutes and 10 seconds through in this contest. And it is Peter Gus Soakula. I thought it was. And good on you, Fijiana, says Peter Stowers. Now another step from Viliami Mata. I wonder who was this change. So they have got Peter Gus. I assume that's straight up for Kitioni Salawa, who is not playing. Thank you, C's Green Tea. No worries at all. I definitely thought I saw Soakula during the anthems. And close start. Come on, Fiji. And you're only 20 seconds behind, says Stevens. So that's not too bad. Alamunts. Taking this one downfield. Looking for the sideline. Does manage to get it out. England deciding against the quick throw here. Around the halfway line. And close start. Come on, Fiji. And with the red nose, you're either sick or you have been downing the Iron Brew and vodkas. So, yeah, sadly sick at this stage. Nose has been giving me absolute hell throughout the last 2 days. And it's got no plans of stopping anytime soon, it would seem. But now off to the left-hand side here. Fiji around the halfway line, carrying it forward. Ben Earl. Oh, little pop pass up from Luke Cow and Dickey. Nice set play here from the English. Now Mitchell uses it quickly. Hay thought about the pass, but can't quite get it away. Adelaide 6-0 up. And come on, Fiji, use your speed. Now passed on the outside. Chandler cutting himself. Dragged down by Tavita Ikanaveri. Mitchell. Big wide skip pass. Finds Ellis Genge. Fiji looking for those turnovers, but they can't quite get a Marcus Smith now. Pass on the outside. Dingwall gets dropped, but gets the pass away to Lawrence Alisi Reasi. Going up to Caleb Muntz. He will be wrestled into touch. 5 metres out from their line now. England in a very good position. We have got Joe has become a channel member. Thank you very much, Joe. Greatly appreciate it. It's amazing considering how far the pitches are travelling. Modern technology is just unbelievable. Says Stephen. Sorry, boss, stay strong. Says Gaming Power. And the Box will walk over Chicken Cox 32-18. Says Leon. And please, Hamish, can you only toss a Bulla Vanaka Viti? Not the Roses Brave. Says Mark. Now breaking off the back here. Chandler cutting himself. Sitting down. I believe that would have been Ilya Finakaivata, but there's a knock on from England. I'll be frustrated about that. That was a very good attacking chance. Ginger starting. He certainly is. That number 1 jersey for this match. 1 channel. 7 Max German commentary. If Fiji score another try, says Brett, and I will swap my aching butt for your runny nose. I'd take that every day of the week. Because, like, yes, having an aching... Oh, I don't know why your butt's aching, of course. So that might be too optimistic for me to just say straight away I'd trade. But, like I said, I'd take a sore throat over the running nose every day of the week as well. Because like a running nose is about the only thing that can stop you from actually streaming smoothly. Because I have to keep on blowing it and also sneezing. I was engaged, says Eric J. And again, just a good player, but he can't go for 80 minutes. Not many props can nowadays. They normally get switched. And we have got the eye Hamish, says Daryl there. And I figured you were still in the closet, says I'm nutty to Eric. 1 second. Speaking of, I'm going to quickly mute. I think the good news is my nose can't get much redder at this point. Oh, we'll go there as Buttersaw because he's American. Says Big Rig. And I Hamish says Daryl, welcome in. And I go Fiji, says Johan there too. But Fiji have got themselves a scrum feed. Just the 5 metres out from the line. Now Simeone Kuravoli kicks that one downfield. Nicely taken by Marcus Smith. Trying to run it back, but Kuravoli gets him round the bootlaces. Mitchell cross to the right-hand side. Another solid step coming in from Alex Coles. Sneezing can be a decent ab workout, says Stephanie. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Ben Earl, no, can't quite get it through the gap. Now pick and go. Tommy Freeman offloads there to Luke Cowan-Dickie. He's already scored himself the first try for the English in this contest. Mitchell back across to Ollie Chesham. I want to say that Fijian player is all right. Yes, he is. It was Ronnie Maui. And tell you what, they've taken too long there in the breakdown, England. So Fiji able to steal it nicely. Can Fiji actually get this one done? The thing is, they have beaten England in England before. So when do we see you do the official Sky Sports commentary? I don't think you will, to be honest. I think that they'll find another ex-player or someone else. But then I'm happy enough doing them on the streaming side of things with the chat going through as well. I feel like that's the best part of these streams. Now, Kuravili on the short side goes off to Peter Gus Sawakula. And it's called as a forward pass. Fiji can do this if they can contain English forwards. And Fiji have beaten England before. They certainly have, actually relatively recently. Not holding my breath for a Fiji win. Says Fiji Islander just want to see improvement in their game, especially in defence and discipline. And we've got to remember, this is Fiji's first game as well for the November International. So there should be a little bit of rust there, but honestly, they haven't been too bad at the moment. And Conrad has asked if he is playing. He is not, no. And playing much better footy in attack than the ABs, says DG. And I hope it's not an omen for tonight. France under 19s 20, South Africa under 19s 12. Also, the young Frenchmen getting themselves a win. I know that they are playing up against Ireland in the future, the under 20s South Africans, and I'm hoping to cover that one on the channel if it doesn't end up overlapping. Trying my best not to sneeze again. I'm watching the Australian game. Why you chose the England game? Says LB. Well, there was a little bit of reasoning behind it. And it was predominantly because of the fact that England, we are covering their game next week up against the New Zealanders. So a little bit of scouting there. And also Fiji have got their game next week up against France. So it just made more sense to do this one. Australia versus Italy, I do think has potential being the better game out of the two. But we were happy enough doing this one. Let's go Fiji, says Colin. Love Asterix. That's my childhood. I think I remember Hamish too, says Clint D. Now thrown in, nicely taken by Fiji. 10 metres out from their own line and retaining their line out. We've got another channel member, Progressive Leadership. Thank you very much. You have now got access to those emojis too. Oh, nice shuffle there from Caleb Muntz. Let's try and create that little bit more of a chance to kick it downfield. Don't blame Hamish, blame World Rugby for having games on at the same time. Who wants to watch Austria, says Eric J. 12 tasks is the best asterisk. I have no idea what's going on in that department. Old school thing of some sort, I assume. And when Fiji win over Tonga and Samoa, says Jonathan, they also managed to beat Canada and Japan in that Pacific Nations Cup. Now out to Marcus Smith. Couple players down at the moment in back play. And Italy 6-0 over the Australians. Big collision for Luke Cowan-Dickie. He's tackled by Tavita Ikanaveri. The Belgian win. They actually did by quite some margin. I think it was about 21-3 in the end, or 22-3 I think was the end score. Now loose ball, Ben Earl unable to take it, he has knocked it on, so it will be Fiji scrum. A little bit of an after push there too. How we have got there in Scotland before that. So here's Fiji Islander. So Namibia out of the World Cup. Not quite. They would have to beat Samoa and also beat the Brazilians by quite a hefty margin. And they'd have to rely on probably Samoa losing to Belgium. Or Belgium losing to Samoa. Either way around, like those other sides have to lose a game at least. Or else whoever wins all their games will go through. And no, Scotland lost. But they put up a fight in the second half, says Big Rig, and 22 points to 17 to New Zealand. Okay, Paul Williams just having a bit of a discussion there with Alice Skenge. Comes to the scrummaging, as we are about to see another scrum in this contest. One moment. There we go. Missed the mute button. There we go. And how are you going to make the France and Springboks game? Are you not feeling it by now? I certainly am. I was feeling it right at the first moment of that first live stream, but we're going to power through. We've done it before. We've actually, believe it or not, been even more sick than this on a live stream marathon. So it just kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, a few delays every once in a while popping off to the side, but other than that, we're all good to go. Fiji with the scrum now, 30 metres out from their line. Muntz shifts it away to the right. Jitawanyanyolo getting it now to Kalaviti Ravovo, trying to back his pace, gets around the outside of Fiwa Bosso. And another offload on the inside. Well handled by Jitawanyanyolo, and the high tackle from Lawrence isn't called by Paul Williams. Big collision by Timo Mainafanua. Peter Gasoakola, Salisi Rayasi hit hard in that shot, and it looks like maybe hurt his knee in the process. It's going to be the knock-on and the tackle by England, so going back for the scrum feed around the halfway line. We have to there, mate, find a sauna and get yourself in there. You just need to sweat it out, says Fiji Islander. I did play cricket earlier on. That was a good sweat out. It didn't seem to help, unfortunately. Belgium at the World Cup would be interesting. But they would be getting smoked 50-0 each game, says Hayno. Are you as excited for the box game as I am? I just hope no cards, says Albert. It should be a really good game. Or at least I hope it is. I don't want it to be one of those games that gets hyped up big time and then it never delivers. Because we've seen that before. We actually saw that for New Zealand Ireland last week. Why not play one of these games on a Friday evening instead of having two games at the same time, or even two games on a Sunday? That would make perfect sense for them to do that, but for some reason they don't do that. Oh, free kick going the way of the Fijians just on the halfway line. Seems like scrums are a little bit 50-50 at the moment. Joshua Tuisova managing to break through 3 English tackles. He eventually managed to drag him down. There was a hit on Rayasi. What bothers me slightly about tonight's game is the fact that the Springboks do not have a good record in milestone matches against top opposition, as that Sia's, or it is Sia's 100th and Rassi's 50th. See, I think it's a good thing for South Africa heading into that game up against France, because France haven't played together. So, if anything, because of the fact that South Africa played last week up against Japan, I would feel a little bit more confidence for them. What Fiji didn't convert, I just saw, Caleb Muntz missing away to the side. Oh, the KFC employee says Adwan there. Now passed on the outside. Nice pace being shown. And passed on the inside to Peter Gasoakola. Little chip in behind. Oh, was he taken out? It doesn't matter if he was, because Caleb Muntz slides in and scores the try anyway. And Fiji take the lead in this contest. Apart from cricket, do you play rugby? I do not, no. Just cricket. But that is a try and a half there for Caleb Muntz and his Fijian side. Simeone Kuravuli. Did he try and milk this penalty? We're going to see the replay now. No, he does get checked by Marcus Smith a little bit, who did change his line. Like they've just said, if it wasn't scored as a try, it would have been going to the bin for Marcus Smith anyway. So the try being scored probably saved them a little bit there. Especially the Fiji game, says LB, so you may have switched at just the right time after the try was scored by Caleb Muntz, reached out over the line and managed to score it. Fiji showing once again why they are such a dangerous side in international rugby. Tosa Veti Toso. Says Fred there. Months this time. He misses away to the right again. So sitting 0 from 2 at the moment for Caleb Muntz. He'll be disappointed about that. He will feel like he's got a lot more accuracy up his sleeve than that maybe lets on. Do you know a football club called Arsenal? I've heard of Arsenal, yes. We have got there, Italy just missed, or Australia just missed the conversion. So 7-6 to Italy. Wait, 7-6, because I know that Italy were up 6-0. So wouldn't it be 6-5 Italy in that case? And Tosa Viti Toso says Arami there, nicely taken. In the middle of the park now. Simeone Kuravoli goes to Pedagas Soakula. 6-5, excuse me. Do you do commentary on cricket? We used to until we started getting copyright strikes from random Sri Lankan YouTube channels that didn't want other people commentating cricket. But we might do the Ashes. Or at least I'm hoping to do some form of it. Arsenal can win the premiership this year. Says JB, who scored for Fiji. So far we've seen Caleb Muntz. And then also the other try. Oh, that's a good attack and run forward from Alex Mitchell. Locking over the ball. And Joshua Tuisova manages to get the steal. But the other try was scored by Tavita Ikanaveri. 24 minutes in, Fiji leading. I don't think many people were predicting this as the score at this point in time, but they are certainly starting this game well for a side that have not played in a warm-up fixture. We have got the cricketers a bit long to comment, I would think. Test match is not too bad. T20 is not too bad. ODI is so long, I think is the way that I look at it. Like, test matches aren't too bad because you got 2-hour sessions, and then you get a little bit of a break. Now Smith goes across to Chandler, cutting himself. Man, he's made a lot of meters today already for the English. Now back across. Marcus Smith. One's going to be there. Or at least it was there till the physicality of Fiji gets them in the breakdown. And they rip it away. It's about the fourth time in the rucks that we've seen Fiji actually rip the ball away from the English at this point in time. Great game. It has been phenomenal for the first 25 minutes. Absolutely flying by as well because of it. We have got there, what's your prediction for France versus South Africa? I went 28-18. What's the prediction? Looks like they are going high with this kick. Finn Smith. An easy win for the Fijians today. Says John, nicely taken under the high ball for Caleb Muntz. Benu has one hand on the ball. He's almost told to get out of it. Yes, he is. Salisi Reasi going for the chip in behind. Goes straight to Alex Mitchell, but they'll go back for the penalty in favour of Fiji. But it's well taken by Caleb Muntz. France 33, South Africans 21. And Ashes 5 days. You'll grow old during the match, says Clinty. I think we're all getting older, though. We've covered the Ashes before on the channel, and we didn't have too many troubles. On which app can I watch the rugby? Depends on where you are in the world, Michaela. If you're in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport 4, which would be on Sky Sport now. Stan Sport, they do also have an app in Australia for that. I want to say it's on DSTV as well. Now ready to put this one in. 1966, the NFL and AFL merged into one game. Do you think the NRL and rugby could combine and make one code? Probably not. I think that both of them are too arrogant to be able to work together. Sounds bad to say, but it's honestly true. Like, both of them will swear down that they are the best type of union or best type of rugby. So they'll never... I don't see them combining. I think that the closest thing we're going to get to that is R360. Oh, rush defense there. Is there no option to watch online? Not normally, depending on, of course, what country you're in. But the best bet is to go onto the World Rugby website because that will tell you your best watching options. Now, Masaki Donge. Tackled there. Trying to move forward that little bit further. Fiji, they currently sit 30 metres out from the line. And another advantage in favour of the Fiji. And Salisi Reasi almost able to go through. Looks for the offload. They'll go back for another penalty. Have been growing you beard since the last Ashes? No, it's since September, I want to say it was, somewhere around there. ANRL hates union. They have campaigns against union, so no, says LB. England matching New Zealand's poor discipline, says Big Rick. Yeah, they've given away quite a few penalties early on here. Let's go Fiji, says Minia. The Ashes is long but evenly paced. And there's only one team on the field tonight, and that's the Bok. Says Peter, although they won't be playing on this field, of course. Last time they played, they were at Wembley rather than Twickenham. But today they are at the Stade de France. Should be quite the intriguing matchup. We have got the Australia 2, keep infringing against Italy. Right, Caleb Munsey is going to be lining up the 3-point now. We have got there, go Fiji. The Southern Hemisphere is behind you. Says Outdoors and Ocean. And Italy versus Australia game is not very good watching. Running rugby is not going anywhere. Says Albert. Oh, and that kick from Caleb Mance has drifted over. So that is going to make the score now sitting after 29 minutes. 13 points to 7. I know you get a bit, mate, but really appreciate your efforts for us all. Says Dale, no worries at all. We are going to be back next week with plenty more streams. Hopefully with less of a cold. In fact, I'd like to think by 2 or 3 days' time, I'll be all good to go. But yeah, just really unfortunate timing as to when I got sick. Because I felt it on Thursday night and I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. Now, Simeone Kuravuli going back across to Viliami Mata. About 15 metres out from their own line at the moment, Fiji. But after the 30 minutes, they are ahead by 6. Is this a strong English lineup? I'd say it's pretty solid. You know, you look through at this side and there are a lot of English starters, you would argue. Like, this is the lineup that they've gone with in the contest. Now passed on the outside. Ollie Lawrence manages to bump off the challenge, but it's a knock-on from Fiwa Bosso. Like they're saying, a little bit of indecision now at the moment for the English. They aren't quite getting that one right. Good morning from Sydney, says Bite. Did someone ever troll you for New Zealand losing Cricket World Cup final? No, we didn't actually get to cover any Cricket World Cup finals with New Zealand, mainly because by then we had copyright strikes. We have got there, move the names, please, but we were showing him the lineup. But we'll take it back down now. Are the two Smiths related? They are not related, no. Marcus Smith in their number 15 jersey and Finn Smith in the number 10. And we'll mention handling error stat at the moment is 6 to 1, I believe it was, just from Fiji. I don't think so. They look nothing alike. Hi, Mum, says Visible Horse. I think if I'm your mum, you probably got some big problems. Now Simeone Kuravuli. Ready to put this ball in again. And that one's going to be well controlled. I think England trying to get that dominance going at scrum time hasn't quite worked for them just yet. Now Mata hits it up again, that ball. It was close to a knock-on in the breakdown. Craig is back. Welcome back, Craig. Now Tavita Ikanaveri taking the collision with his opposite number, Luke Cowan-Dickey, as well as Joe Hayes. You shouldn't watch cricket, mate. New Zealand is a bottle team. Lost the Indian Champions Trophy final. Bottled against Australia in 2021 World Cup and England in 2019. Says Void. Yeah, see, I'm one of those people, though, that don't just ditch your team because they lose the occasional game. So, like, I'm happy enough to watch cricket. Like, I watched New Zealand get absolutely slaughtered last year live, but that was still fun. Like, sometimes you got to like it for the sport rather than, like, just trying to win all the time. You know, of course, winning's nice, but you get used to losing as well, and that's kind of what keeps you grounded and not too confident, we'll say. I respect, says Big Rig, and both are decent number 10s. As Pollock, the cheeky Pom youngster, playing today? He is. He's off the bench in this game. True story, Doctor. Says Gaming Power. Are we preparing for church in Fiji? And South African fans underestimating France in the chat, says Albert. And Fiji goes, says Martin. Looks like a bit of an injury here for Ilya Thanakai-Vata. Looks like it's actually maybe a bit of a laceration on his shin. Maybe not quite as deep as Scott Barrett's was. I hope New Zealand doesn't bottle the World Cup final in 2026. South Africa versus Fiji, World Cup 1 win. Says Splash TV. And boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, wayo. What's your prediction? I honestly, going into this game, I assumed that England would get the better of Fiji in that second half, and I also thought that because Fiji hadn't played any rugby together for a little while, that may hurt them, but they're honestly playing like a well-oiled machine at the moment. They've actually looked like they are the side that had a game last week rather than England. They've got there, why does every country hate England? That's a good question. I don't actually know the reasoning behind it. That's a good prediction, Craig. Crowd loud at the moment. Seeing a little bit of Sweet Caroline. I just saw a praying mantis. That's so cool. Says Mania. Do you think England have a chance? Absolutely. They aren't out of this game. They're down by 6 at the moment, but we saw up against the Australians. They got 3 unanswered tries in the second half. So I think that this game could be similar if Fiji are not careful, but England on the attack again. Ben Smith goes across to Marcus Smith, grabbing him behind. Tommy Freeman chasing after this one. It goes into touch. And you're lucky. We have to share a garden fence with them. Says Kyle. And also we have got there, so we won't give all stuff we stole back. I can show the English bench. It is stacked. 1 second. We'll go like this. And like that as well. There you go. That is the bench for the English in this contest. Short line out there for the Fijians. Again on England, all good. So here's Stephanie. That one's going to be kicked downfield from Salisi Areasi. And a Wallabies try. So here's Big Rig. England again, just willing to wait for this one. England are great. If I didn't speak English, it'd be pretty useless. I'd be pretty useless, says Clint D. And where is the live? It depends on where you are in the world. I believe it's on Sky Pacific if you are in Fiji. So that would be your best option. And Pollock is in for a physical night. Yeah, once he makes his way off of the bench, we'll be really trying to add that X factor later on in the contest. I'm moving forward. Luke Cowan, Dickey, this is a good rolling maul for the English. He breaks off short side. Mitchell with the no-look pass goes into touch. Freeman just not quite there, ready for it. Where's Springboks going to live? Or going to live, I assume that is from Mohadeen. That match has taken place in just under 2 hours' time between between South Africa and France. Toge has finished. Toge is making his way off the bench in this game rather than starting. And thanks on the score on that game, Big Rick. Now 22 metres out from the line. Tavita Ikanaviri. We need to throw this one in. Alex Coles, he's had a busy start to this game though. Oh, that's going to be a loose line out. Kick forward by Alex Mitchell and very well controlled by Simeone Kuravoli. Manages to get the offload away to Ilya Thanakaivata. Now Peter Gus Sawakula. Going to be dragged down by Ollie Chisholm. Kuravoli, bit of a miss pass there from the Fijians. Tui Sova, he is shut down by Ben Earl, 22 metres out from their line. Now Salisi Reasi undecided about where he wants to go. He almost carved up the middle, got a swinging arm in the process. Gita Wanyanyolo showing off those quick step and 7's feet. It took him to an Olympic gold medal. For the Fijians. Super Rugby has helped Fiji so much. Pollock is in for a rude awakening tonight, says John. This is uncharacteristic from England, says Fiji Islander. And the way that England conduct themselves on the field make them easy to hate, smug, arrogant, and celebrating dumb things like opposition knock-ons. Haven't respected them for years. Says outdoors and ocean. They're going up for the... Ooh, that's a red card. Unfortunately, that's going to be at least a yellow here, if not more. Against the Fijian player. He was going up for the ball initially. Didn't get the jump going. So Celestino Ravotomunda. It's going to be an off-field review. Can't believe how going through the Fiji Names Live Commentary. What happens says Manera. It was a very ugly collision in the air. The time is going to be turned off. We're going to see it now. He was flying through. Just took out the legs. And honestly, we're lucky with how Fiua Boso landed. No, that's That's going to be a red card. I don't see anything but red here. Now, Fijiwa Boso has done so well to not land on his head in that scenario, but that may be the chance that Fiji did not want to give the English. And like they said, he just ran full steam ahead, nowhere near it. That one's going to be nicely taken by Chandler Cunningham South. Now, Ollie Lawrence trying to step his way through yellow, says Martin. Another matchup that we have not seen is Box versus Fiji. So here's Splash TV. It's true, it's been a little while since that match has taken place. Now, Fijiwa Boso, I'm sure you're going to have a brandy when the Springboks are playing. I am not, no. I'm hopefully going to have plenty of water that will stop any chance of the voice disappearing. Well, Alex Mitchell goes back across to Luke Cow and Dickey. Upgraded to red on review, I reckon. Yeah, I think so. Oh, another advantage going against Fiji. This is where they start to really get hurt in this contest. Paul Williams already has the one advantage, and I would say only one or two more. And then from there, could end up with a yellow. Why is that such a red card? He was committed to the ball. That's yellow max. I think because of the fact that he got nowhere near the ball and he just straight cleaned out the player who landed awkwardly. Like, I'd be absolutely shocked if it isn't a red card, just the way that they are normally ruled. Now going back across. The right-hand side, Ben Earl, big collision there again. Is Mr. Kiwi's first name Hamish? Killer name, yet it is Hamish. Bouncing off the board. Fijiwa Boso goes over. And that one big moment, the yellow card up against Fiji has now given England the chance to get back into the contest. No red, only yellow in my opinion. Sorry, referee Islanders played tough and rough. Says Peter Stow is there. Might as well be 5 reds now. We're going to see Fijiwa Boso just decided to wait for that one to sit up for him. And then finishes it off as well. Fiji just gave away the game. Says Yanko, that's exactly what I mean. There was not a malice play by the Fijian, but TMO will make it a malice play. And red card him. TMO is rubbish. Disgrace to the game. The other player not even hurt or going to die. Says Jenna. He's agree, but it's unfortunate, but not malicious. Now, we're going to line up this kick for Finn Smith. Just to give the lead back to the English. He strikes it well. And just snags it in the left-hand post. So that is making the score now 14 points to 13 in favour of England. So a good lead to this contest now. It is only 1 point, but that is all you need out there on the field. I'm saying just getting that one over for the 5 points. And then adding the extra 2 there too. You should bring an animal for your stream one day. That might be a bit hectic, I would say. I don't think that would be very easy to control. Unless it's like a well-trained animal. I'd love to get one of those parrots. You know, then maybe try and see if it can do commentary. They scored, that's why it says big unit. And thanks much to the TMO, says Jenna. That one's going to be kicked high. Nicely taken by Ollie Chisholm, just outside of his 22. Peter Gasol falling off the tackle. Tight game, that Big Rig Joe. Italy giving Australia a run for their dollars. Now, Alex Mitchell. So this ball up high, like they are saying, they may have to play with only 14 men for quite a bit more time here. Now, it is going to be Kuravuli on the halfway line for the Fijians. Both games are closer than expected. Says Big Rig. A well-trained otter will do the job, although for an otter I'd have to get like a big pool, wouldn't I? Which might make it a little bit tricky. I taught my parrot to sing. Says Stephen. Fiji told to use it again here. They're going to put this one into touch. It seems like they are just waiting. They're asking for the penalty. They will not receive it. Kuravuli told to use it again. I can't tell if Fiji are trying to run this one towards the sideline to be able to kick it out, or whether they're just trying to play for one last phase. No, now they kick that ball out, Fiji, and that is going to make the score now 14 points to 13 between these two sides. Very entertaining first half. Very hectic first half, I have to say. 1 second, we will go like this. We are good. Hopefully, Fiji want a break, which is fair enough. And plus, they're only down by the 1 point, so I feel like they're not in a position where they really needed one more try. They're singing that rubbish song, Sweet Caroline. They did before. They aren't now, though. You're not a dog person, which says Big Rick. I don't mind a dog, but I don't have a dog. So I'd have to find a dog if I was gonna do a stream with a dog. How long in the box for a yellow card? So normally 10 minutes off the field. But it may be upgraded. We'll have to wait and see what they end up calling it as. A penguin? Yeah, I think that's illegal, but we'll see what happens. It's only illegal if you get caught with a penguin. England not so cocky this week. They don't like the physical stuff. Wait for the box. Says Gavin. And Fiji want the break. And also half the Australian team looks like Nick White. And BRA versus Cheslin Colby. Who you got? It's a tricky one, isn't it? I feel like both men have more than enough ability to score a try in that contest. It's going to be a hard in your mouth second half to watch, because I did say in my preview that both wingers are going to be crucial for actually on both sides. Damien Pinot versus Kurtley Arendse, just as important. English with Paul has said so many dumbass comments. Is that from me, Paul, or from the people in the chat? We have got their plan for 2026. Find Hamish a dog and a missus, says Young Co. And also we have their halftime in the Italy now too. Still 12 points to 9 in favour of the Australians. Parrots can live 60 years plus. There you go. I should get a guinea pig. I'm pretty confident the Ponds will get it done. I think that yellow card was the momentum shifter from the chat, says English with Paul. And looking at some of the comments, seems like the Brenners is flowing like a river already, says Jane Watson. That's the one thing. When you got a late kickoff for the box, as well as for like these international rugby matches, people have normally done their drinking by the time the game gets underway. Is London bigger than Fiji? Probably, says on the right. And people want Swing Low Sweet Chariot to be banned. And English with Paul, I'm Scottish with Kyle, nice to meet you. Rugby should be banned in Australia, why? A yellow not red yet, nothing confirmed as of yet. But I would assume that for now we're assuming it's just a yellow. I do think it's going to be upgraded. It's unfortunate, but the way that they normally rule it, I think that they'll say there was no clear intent for actually going for the ball. So yeah, he could be in trouble. Tosovetti says Trench there. And anyone watching Australia versus Italy game can comment on how the first half went, says Fiji Islander. Gets in the box and the rest is obvious, except maybe France. We'll see today, says Gavin. And also, England is just a poor man's South Africa. These Northern Hemisphere pundits always overestimate their team, says Half Court. And it does seem to be no matter which team is playing in the world, they get compared to South Africa, don't they? We've learnt that all throughout today. Every single game, whether it was Samoa getting compared to the South Africans, or whether it is the All Blacks, Scotland, Ireland, Japan, every single side. It seems to be that is the team that you compare them to. And I guess that is because they are the world champs at the moment. But then that puts a lot of pressure on that side. A side that do enjoy being the underdogs. And I feel like recently they've had to get that adjustment of realising they are no longer the underdogs. They are now considered favourites. If I had a chance, I'd rather fight Ma'anonu, says our sister, rather than a Fijian. The first half was a grind, nothing special, says I am nutty. He's streaming the Pacific Championship final. I am hoping to. Match up between New Zealand and Samoa. We have already called it for 2 weeks ago when it did happen. And trying to make this Bri fire last as long as possible. 2 hours to go. I need to sip the vino slowly and stay focused. Credit to Fiwa Bosa for not milking it. Says DG, yeah, he actually saw the opportunity to squeeze through a gap. Everyone was compared to Muhammad Ali too. Tells you something, says Gavin. Well, it does a little bit, but at the same time, there's the other side of it too, isn't there? We have got there still say England smashed Fiji last 20 minutes. I think that Fiji, this period where they are down to 14 men, this is really going to sap the gas tank. Hamish, thanks for this post. You're elite, mate. Says sister there, and All Blacks not compared to South Africa, just the 2015 ABs. Says Half Court there. And also we have got there as well, South Africa is the powerhouse. Says Martin. And Italy, Australia first half is very 50-50. Lots of quick ball and fancy backline moves, but very underwhelming. Says Albert. Scrappy half, Australia gave away loads of penalties, but dominating at the breakdown. Okay, so it sounds like Australia should be able to run away with it if they get a couple of their little bits and bobs right, I guess. How do Belgium compare to South Africa? Well, at the moment, Belgium get themselves the win over the Samoans. The comparison will be both sides are in that next World Cup. We have got their half-time, Italy 9-12 for Australia. Fiji hold English forwards, they can win. In South Africa, it's merely an outpost, says Eric J. I think the Box with the youth are in the new mindset. These young boys want to play, says Dion. Just showing the highlights of England versus Australia last week. That is where we did see the English really run away with it in the second half. They managed to get themselves the 3 tries. The Australia need to stop being silly. They're the stronger team. Could easily be 21-3. You need a good sleep after all your hard work today, Hamish, says John. Yeah. I'll probably get about 4 hours, I think I've worked out, by the time that the France versus South Africa game ends. I have to schedule that next rugby league match, which is kicking off at 6 p.m. New Zealand time. But yeah, there won't be a huge amount of sleep time in between. Yes, they will keep him on his toes. Sorry about the spelling. And also we've got the Cheese People for the Australia versus Italy update. Don't do crack, Hamish. Says, sister, I will try not to. Won't do it on purpose anyway. That last try from McKenzie was absolutely crazy. One of the best tries this year. Yeah, the fact that he was able to spin himself back around and somehow stop himself from going into touch, even though he's one of the smaller players out there on the field. Yeah, it was brilliantly done by Damien McKenzie. What's for dinner, Hamish? I haven't actually had dinner from last night, so I'll have to work that out at some point. But probably something not too fancy, probably like an orange. Is vitamin C supposed to be good for you? Thank you for your commitment while being sick. Says Danny Brits there. And South African late night owls, Hamish, aren't they faders? Says John, and hang in there, Fiji, stay focused and grind when the chips are down. You see, that's the thing. They have to make sure that they don't concede early on in the second half. Because I would say 1 try conceded here for Fiji, they're probably done and dusted in this matchup. But if they can avoid that early try going against them, who knows? Make a soup, bro. Fried egg sandwich. Says sister there. They go all right. And England should voluntarily take a man off. And I agree, says sister. See, the problem with having such a blocked nose, though, is anything that you make that's actually kind of nice, you can't really enjoy it because you don't get to taste that much of it from the blocked nose. According to the French, we are the underdogs. I love it, says Avril. Yeah, although a lot of the rest of the world are giving South Africa the favourite status in that contest. At the end of the day, they played last week. France did not. So that, for me, even if you're about a $5 underdog playing them in the first week, if you've played the week prior, I straight away put you right up to about 50-50. And of course, that's not the odds for that game. They were always going to be 50-50 as it is. But, like, having that extra 80 minutes out there on the field changes teams. We have got there, I'll be shocked if France beat the Box. Says Big Rig there. Is your girlfriend looking after you while you're sick? A little Vicks Vapor Rub. I sadly have to rub Vicks Vapor Rub on myself because there's no one else to rub it on me. Sound a bit of a weird sentence, but no, I've been stocking up. We have got there. I think the Box will win by more than 10. Says Big Rig. According to the French, they're underdogs. I love it. Says Clint D. Wait, according to the French, they underdogs as in South Africa underdogs, or according to the French, they're underdogs, and you like the fact that France think they're underdogs. Super Rugby's growth for draw, impressive, Hamish. Says Doc, yeah, they've come a long way, the Fijians, and they just seem to go, like, all they need is to have all their players available, and they start to go that little bit better. Rugby media are prisoners of the moment. France win today, everyone will be saying that they are the best. Says Half Court. Yeah, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, and I think a lot of people will know exactly what I mean, but, like, see how carefully I'm trying to word this. One thing about being a rugby fan is the memory of a goldfish comes to mind, because it's literally week in, week out, opinions change. We see it all the time on the channel. We have people who come in and say, this team is terrible, and then the next week they go, this is the best team I've ever seen. I love this team. So, like, we've seen enough of people chopping and changing their opinions depending on what's happening in the world of rugby. So that's kind of like, I don't know. it sometimes gives people a bit of a bad reputation in terms of the fact that, you know, the mood can change and the mind can change very quickly, but that's sport. You know, you go from disliking a player to he has one good game and all of a sudden he's the favourite of everyone. And then you have one bad game after playing 50 good ones and everyone says, sack him out the team, get rid of him, we don't like him anymore. You can get a girlfriend in South Africa because you have an accent. They love that. Says Clint D. And we have got there but it is the same, but is it the same people, Hamish? Says Big Rig. See, I'm pretty good at remembering names. So yes, in some cases it has been. I know of someone who's a regular on the live streams who the very first time they joined a chat, they abused the absolute daylights out of me and they think I've forgotten. But I remember all those live streams ago and then they come in and say, hello, how's it going? But I remember. And absolutely, Hamish, certainly happens nowadays. All right, flip-flop says Robert V. And also we've got the Hamish, Fiji beats England. What will you do? I will trim my beard. I have to trim my beard anyway. But it'll also be because Fiji won at the same time. I mean, I'm going to put on the suit either way for that last live stream of the day because I was supposed to put it on about 2 or 3 ago. So we're going under pressure for sure. Was it me? Says Sand. See, now everyone's going to be questioning whether or not it was them right at the start, isn't it? And South Africa not under any pressure. Says Sister. That new 4 is better than Scott of what I've seen in the past 6 games. Good luck to the English. Says Richard. Yeah, Josh Lord had a really good game. Whereas last week people were saying sack him and don't put him anywhere near the All Black squad. And now people are saying he's their starting 4. I wish with all due respect, how do you not have a girlfriend in New Zealand? Easiest girls in the world. Well, they obviously aren't very easy for a New Zealander like myself. Because I am as single as they come. We have got the I have been known to troll from time to time, says Sandor. Got a suit up for South Africa, says McNulty. I wish we need to talk about Damian McKenzie at 12. I think they just need to talk about Damian McKenzie as a potential starter. What would it take for Mr. Kiwi Sir to go completely bald? No beard, no hair, no eyebrows. It would take more than anything that can be offered on a stream. Are we doing Palm Squad, or will the Palm Squad do it again? So you're busy, or you're so busy, I'm not surprised. And good show, Hamish. Love your commentary, says Richard. Do appreciate that a lot. Second half of this game, just about around the corner. My mum is single, Mr. Kiwi. She is 34. Says Minia. Are you trying to set me up with your mother, Minia? She nice? No. Your only problem, Hamish, is that you haven't come to South Africa yet. Says Francois. A good looking bloke, so he is. Says Sister there, and Hamish is too busy staying awake from 1 a.m. till 11 a.m. watching rugby. Says, hey, no, that is true. My sleep schedule is completely broken. It comes with the territory. I have eyebrows, me only hair on my head, says Doc Martin. And go to Thailand, all the types of girls there, says Fiji Islander. Mozambican, women are very beautiful. Hey, did you know YouTube was officially a dating website? We've seen it a few times in the past that we've seen people in the chat have tried to set each other up. Manir wants a stepdad. Imagine Hamish taking you to your footy games. Oh, cute. Says Sandor. We have got the mate, you take the stick so well. Well, it's about all you can do, isn't it? Like, I feel like life's serious or like hard enough as it is without being able to just have a bit of a laugh about things every once in a while. Like, at the end of the day, we've been called much worse on these streams because when I get the Google Translate out and learn what people have said, it's quite bad, some of it. But, you know, you get used to it. My money is on South Africa, more than 10. You live in Chichu, right, Hamish? I can lend you one of my girlfriends. I'm a few hours south, so they'd have to travel, unfortunately. That's the tricky part. We have got the, but in Europe, people go mad when you are funny and fun. There you go. I don't know whether I'm funny and fun. I feel like I can only be one or the other on any given day. Devo South Africa says, sister, but we're just about underway for the second half, ladies and gents. 14 points to 13 between these two sides at the moment. They are just showing Celestino Ravotomanda. Scribble your number in the toilet wall of a bar. That usually works. Well, there you go. And we have got there, France have a massive pack. You got some big boys up front for the French. Right, we haven't heard any update on Celestino Ravotomanda as of yet. Are you closer to Auckland or Christchurch? So I'm closer to Christchurch. in the South Island rather than the North. The ball in the hand of Ollie Chisholm to get us back underway. It's funny how fun you are, maybe, says Francois. Now rolling this ball back, Alex Mitchell told to use it. So it's going to be put high, chasing after it. Fiwa Boso. Oh, he's taken Salisi Reasi out in the air. Oh, he doesn't look too happy either. Salisi Reasi may have taken a bit of a knock. Hamish would probably get a few. What part of Australia are you from if he came here? I guess where Hamish lives. He hates it when I guess where. Says Sandor. They're saying there that it's probably going to be a license. Oh, sorry, not a license. A penalty. I'm about to sneeze again. 1 second. Right, he's made contact in the air. I've actually managed to hold this one off. You need a girlfriend who will co-commentate with you, says Gavin. Yeah, but then that would require breaking her sleep schedule too. Because these games are on at very random hours here in New Zealand. We have got our Hamish's accent as 100% South Island, says Half Court. Right, they're just asking whether or not Salisi Reasi is all right to be able to continue in this game. He's taken a few deep breaths. He did land in a weird way, how he just kind of flattened out. I think Fiwa Boso's annoyed because he got landed in a very awkward manner and didn't stay down. It looks like Reasi is going to continue. I can't think of anything worse than a girlfriend co-commentator, says Half Court. Now Caleb Muntz, he's just had a bit of a cough, and he will kick this one towards the sideline. 1 second. Right. The verdict is about to be in, ladies and gents. They have got a ruling of the yellow card. What is it going to be? Oh, there you go. It's a yellow card, remaining yellow card. Because he landed on his front and not on his head is why Fiwa Boso has not had the rear card offence on him by Celestino Ravatamunda. That shocking decision, says Big Rig. Now, Simeone Kuravuli, I think, was trying to milk the penalty there, and Paul Williams says, no, you don't. Correct decision, says Yanko. Now passed across to the right-hand side. We need Nigel Owens. Says sister there. Moving forward, Ellis Genge. Going to try and wiggle his way out of the breakdown, but Fiji in a good attacking position on the field, and they won't be too far away from 15 men on the field against Alisi Reasi, popping it over the top. Chance here in the corner, Ravovo popping it back in. Oh my goodness, that's a huge hit on Caleb Muntz by Cunningham South. That was a huge shot. It's Alisi Reasi now off to Tavita Ikanaveri. Luke Cowan-Dickey as well as Ollie Lawrence trying to hold him up. We have seen a yellow card in each game so far. Who will get the card in the French versus Bot game? That's a great question. We have got a new channel member as well. Any, thank you very much. I'm guessing Jasper Visser. But then normally if Visser gets a yellow, he gets a red because he likes to fully commit. I'm totally convinced New Zealand performance in Scotland play smarter. Victory could have been theirs. And rubbish decision, that's clearly a red. Says Scott now Tuisova. Sitting about the 12 metres out from the line. Now, big collision for Aroni Maui, up to 9 phases in a row for the Fijians. Back across again, Peter Gus Soakula. Normally Visa gets a red, says Yanko. And Amish, you need a red-headed Irish girl, best in the world, however, don't mess with them, as they take note. Now passed off, kicked him behind from Smith. Looks like Tommy Freeman chasing after this one, having to retreat was Jetta Huayanyolo, who skims him on the outside. Oh, loose ball though, picked up by England, 40 metres out from Fiji's line now with Joe Hayes having the crashing run forward. Now Mitchell, Ollie Lawrence, is back across to this left-hand side, looking for one more pass on the outside was Dingwall, looked like he was limping a little bit. And Tuisova and Fiwa Boso, they are going head-to-head at the moment. Oh, there's a neck roll from Luke Cowan-Dickey. So that is going to now be the penalty going the way of the Fijians. Cobus Visa is a Cobus. says John. Gonna see it now. Yeah, Cow and Dicky round the neck, pulling down the Fijian player. And Sawa Nasilasila. Keep going, Fiji, says Doc. And this is a break Fiji needed, says Luke. Great decision, very fair, says John. Still just the 1 point difference between these two sides. Please slow the clock down, Fiji. I think it's a little bit early at this point in time. Oh, there he is now, Celestino Ravotomanda. He makes his way back on, apologises to his team. Rugby's all about a reset, says a sister there. A line out throw, Taveta Ikanaveri. Ready to put this ball in. That one's going to be slapped away by the English. They're managing to get that possession back at a crucial time. Fiji should win easy now. Oh, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think that both of these sides are going to take each other extremely deep in this half. That ball's going to be kicked high. Go Fiji, please, says Martin in kind of tense. Yeah, it just seems like both of these sides are right on the verge of getting some sort of big moment here. Now off to the left again. Smith goes to Smith. This time Marcus, the second Smith to touch it. Also plays as that second 5 role. Now Chandler Cunning himself. Tackled by Viliami Mata. I think that both number 8s have had busy enough games, although we haven't seen a huge amount of Viliami Mata just as of recently. Huge shot of Fiuaboso again. How good is Fiji's bench? They've got some decent players off of the bench. But I do think that England, you probably give them that advantage. Quick hands. Loose ball picked up by Marcus Smith. And the penalty goes the way of Fiji. And we have also got their love what you do for us. There's a big yawn. But now it looks like Caleb Muntz will be able to put this ball towards the sideline. This follows a close game. We'll be followed by another close game, I reckon, says Clint D. Yeah, see that? That South Africa-France game, I think, will be close right up until maybe late, where we see maybe one try and then a penalty for one of the sides, perhaps. Or at least that's the way that I hope it goes anyway. Nurse for Hamish says, sister. Yeah, we're certainly feeling it at the moment, but we're still going. In 3 hours' time, or maybe 3.5 hours' time, we will be all done and dusted. Up until about 6 hours after that for the next stream. Australians keep kicking it out on the full. Says Alumni there. And Hamish win for the AB, says Peter. Yeah, it was a stressful game for a lot of All Black supporters. Definitely after the way that it started in that game. Marcus Smith now kicking it down the wing. That's close. It was actually very close to going out on the full for Marcus Smith. Another charge down, says Clint D. Fiji bench is good, but English bench is sheer power. And Fiji are deliberately keeping the ball in the play to make it a running game. Very smart, says half court. And that's the thing, the Fiji gas tank sometimes can get tested, but I think they also back themselves to be able to keep a faster tempo in the later stages of the game than most of their opposition. It's what they were able to do up against sides in the Pacific Nations Cup, although they were of a different calibre than the English, the sides they were facing. Muntz kicks it in behind Jita in Nyolo. That's going to be knocked on. Marcus Smith trying to sneak his way through. Joe Hayes, another carry for him. And cutting himself physicality. Yeah, he's had some huge hits throughout this game. Rush defence from Fiji does just about shut down this English backline. Now Alex Mitchell, way to the left. Finn Smith puts the kick in behind Fiwa Bosso. It's well deflected off of Salisi Reasi. I was sleeping in the week. He seemed tired with that big yawn. It's more so because of the sickness, I would say, than anything else. That was rush defence from Fiji again. Australia, Italy at the moment. I think it's still the same scoreline that it was just before. But now England looking to kick this one up high. Now just outside of the 22. And nicely taken by Fiji. Now just saying there that Viliami Mata, left elbow, might have a little bit of a problem here. Hamish, it doesn't sound like the fun flu. When I was 17, I got the fun flu. You just laugh. I feel a bit weak with achy muscles and a lot of phlegm, says Story. Oh, picked up by Tommy Freeman now, going off to Ben Earl on the right-hand side now, passed on the inside to Finn Smith once more. This is where England are dangerous. Ollie Lawrence, great step from him, selling the dummy, can't quite get his next pass away. Now 5 metres out from the line, Alex Mitchell dragged down just short. He thought he was for sure going to get over the line. Ellis Genge has got the grounding, and England score the try. Main focus or main reasons for Marcus Smith being overlooked. I haven't been paying attention to the Northern Hemisphere rugby. I think it's just that versatility, the fact that he can play at 15 as well as playing at 10. It seems to be a bit tricky for them to squeeze him in. Reminds that Marcus Smith cuts his hair. He loses his rugby vision, says Yazine. Is it today or tomorrow your side? So currently it is today. Wait. So it's currently 7:50 a.m. on Sunday morning, New Zealand time. But just short of line, Ellis Genge initially short, and then, tell you what, that was a pretty quick call of a try. We're not seeing the grounding there from that angle. Can you also mention where they are on the field? They were on the try line there for Ellis Genge, but this kick's going to be 25 metres out for Tommy Freeman. And that one does go over, making the score now 21 points to 13. And swing low, sweet chariot, says Big Rig. And there as well. And Italy 14, Australia 12. And it's tomorrow for us, mate, says Graham. I guess there's always a tomorrow, isn't there, when you really think about it? That sounds a bit deep. As forward on the bench, Hamish, says John Mills. Why do they not look at the Miles forward pass? And Ollie Lawrence, says DG. This one's going to be kicked off, well lined up from Celestino Ravotamanda. English player, I think, accidentally joined from the wrong side of the breakdown. It wasn't on purpose, though. He just got pretty much thrown over the middle. Now passing it across to the left-hand side. Now, Nasila, a little bit of obstruction, but they will go back for the initial penalty. Favour of the Fijians, damn counter-attack. Fiji caught napping, and Genge has a large sausage, says Sister. As Ford on the bench, they do not have George Ford on the bench for the English. 1 second, we'll go like that. There we go. They have got Ben Spencer and also Henry Arundel as their other option. And we have got the 12 points to 17 to Australia. An Italian try disallowed. We're going to see it now. Jeez, Ellis Genge. Or in fact, Luke Cowan Dickey flew through. Hamish, you always get a girlfriend tomorrow. I don't think I'll get a girlfriend in the near future because I'm currently sick. So then I would feel bad if I got someone sick as well. And we have got there. Oh, that's a nice set play from Fiji. They were 10 metres out from the line with the line out, going short side to Tavita Ikanaveri. That looked a little bit too easy for the Fijians. And they have managed to get themselves that try back. There's a quick turnaround from the Wallabies. Says Big Rig there. And also try Fiji, says Joshua. Yeah, very nicely done. Just the set piece to the short side. And no one out there covering Ben Earl. Looked like he wasn't quite ready for that one. Just really nicely done. Come on, Hamish. Plenty of sheep near the ocean. Says I am nutty there. Once again, can only apologise for the amount that we have had to mute on these live streams today. The plan, of course, was to not get sick before the weekend, but it has happened, but we're powering through. Caleb Muntz ready to line up this ball, and that one's gone away to the left-hand side, making the score 21 points to 18 between these teams, and it looks like a few changes now being made. In fact, make that 5 for the English. We see there Henry Pollock makes his way on. Tom Curry going out onto the field as well. As Fiji got any kicks except one pin? No, they've actually missed all of their kicks so far. So Chandler Cunning himself going off and Guy Pepper as well. Now, that's quite a surprise. I thought Chandler Cunning himself probably would have got to stay out there a little bit longer. What type of illness do you have? Says Mono. It's just a cold, I think. Do like the England prop. And hey, Kiwi Lad says, Manu, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Firecracker squad just came on for England. And what's the other one is England A. Very good game. And one of my girlfriends says, Vicks Vapor Rub ready for you. Where in Dunners do you live? Not quite as far south as Dunedin. About halfway in between Dunedin and Christchurch. That one's going to be kicked into touch by Simeone Kuravuli. And Muntsmith's conversion is going to cost Fiji. You see, he's normally pretty safe as well, which is why it's that little bit more confusing. But, yeah, it will definitely come down to the wire. In this match, we're currently 55 minutes through. Just the 3 points separating them. Nicely taken by, it would have been Alex Cole. Once again, the chant starting to go around Twickenham Stadium. Here we go. And now all we're going to hear is Pollock. Says Gavin. This one's going to be put high. Oh, nicely taken. Ben Earl. Going on the outside. Ollie Chisholm finds Marcus Smith. Does try the step. Can't quite link up. On the inside. 25 metres from the try line though. Alex Mitchell going off to the left-hand side. Nice step inwards from Ben Earl. Making meters for fun at the moment here, the English. Tom Curry now. 12 metres out. There's going to be another advantage in favour of the English. Henry Pollock does get wrestled down by Salisi Reasi and driven towards the sideline. Fiji get the steal and the breakdown, so they will go back for the penalty. Otherwise, your thumbs up. They're not counting every touch. It keeps flashing. Hardly ever counts up. Says CTT, that is a very good question. I actually don't know the reasoning behind it. Hope you get better, brew. Says Michael, I'll probably be all right by about, I'd say, probably Monday or Tuesday. It's just unfortunate timing. Had I gotten sick on, I'd say, Tuesday or Wednesday this week, I would have been fine by now, but it's just the timing of it. But we'll get over it. It's all right. Hopefully. As you know, sore, Hamish, get well soon. It's very sore. It's getting more and more red as well, as you guys can see. It's got to the point now, it just feels smooth now. There's nothing left on it. We're now breaking through, but they will go back for the initial knock on. Bro, I'll hook you up. We homies now. Do you prefer blonde or brunette? What do you like for dinner? What side of the bed do you want to call shotgun on? Says Kyle. See, I'm very indecisive, so I'm probably unable to pick. Well, see, even in my own bed, I switch up the sides just because I decide, nah, sick of the left, so we'll go on the right this time. Dinner's good, though. I do like food. But now it looks like Masaki Donge is going to make his way off the field. I did see the elbow to the ribs of Pollock. Everyone wants a piece of this guy. Says Gavin, including yourself by the sounds of it, when you were saying everyone's going to be talking about him. But then the only person who's talked about him so far has been you, Gavin. Yes, the ref is compromised. Says Johan. A crack on the nose. Yep, that'll sort it. Says McNulty. Now ready to feed this ball in for the Fijians. They're still 5 metres out from their line. Your indecisiveness might be why you're single, mate. Probably. Baby bum cream works great on a sore nose. I don't think I have any baby bum cream that I know of. But now, kick downfield from Simeone Kuravoli. That's going to be nicely taken by Marcus Smith. 40 metres out, going to the left, or he is driven down. The Fiji have not been going with any sort of light tackles throughout this match. Every single tackle has been hard hitting and just trying to bulldoze through the English pack. Celestino Ravatamunda getting held in the breakdown by Pollock. He wanted to kick him there. You'd see it on his face. But he's already had a yellow card, so can't really get away with it. Yep, this one's kicked high. Oh, Fi'iwai Boso goes up for a ball, sits up for Curry. And Caleb Muncie has stayed down. That is a bit of a concern there for the Fijians, as it does mean that they are defending for now with 14. Ollie Lawrence pass on the outside. Chance here for Freeman towards the corner. He's going to be dragged down just short of the try line. Close to the sideline. They'll go back for a penalty though. Oh, we have got there as Pollock crying for his mummy. Says John, not at this stage. He will still be feeling that high of winning up against Australia last week and also scoring the try. But he'll be looking forward to the challenge. I feel like this type of matchup probably suits him quite well because he's going to get smashed. So it's going to test out whether or not he has got that little bit of extra grit and that determination. Your endurance is remarkable. Thank you for your hard work, Hamish. Says Leighton there. Right off the red-nosed Kiwi lad. Says Craig in there as well. That one's going to be kicked into touch by England. So they've actually turned down the 3 there. This is where they're starting to try and get that game secured. Will you dare take over for the French game? Probably not, no. No, it'll just be me again. Nicely taken by Tom Curry. Now the maul. Currently 10 metres out for the English. It's not really moving too far forward at this point in time. They're trying to find a way through. I'm not actually sure who's got this anymore. I think it's still Jamie George. That ball's almost stuck in there. It's available for Mitchell now. Pops it up to Henry Pollock. Tackled by Samu Tawake. Now Ben Earl lands on his face. And the hard collision once again from Fiji. They've had a hard time putting down Ollie Lawrence throughout this game as he almost spins out of the challenge. Now going across. Finn Smith, short ball to Freeman, who's dropped the ball due to the hard physical shot. And this sounds like it might be a yellow card coming here for the Fijians. In fact, no, this might not quite be the yellow card. This might be the last warning, though. You get squished, though. So many people in a cramped space. Says Big Rig. Early try, though, through liner. Okay, no, it is a yellow card. Oh, that's Joshua Tuisova as well, who has been removed from the field. That is probably, I would say, top 3, if not the first player that Fiji would have said they do not want removed from this match. And poor Team England, says Driss in there. And drop the ball, says Doc. That's happened quite a few times just out from the line, though, just because of that physicality of the Fijians. Any large steak or ground beef and nothing else for 3 days, you'll be better than ever, no sugar, says Gavin. Fiji to score next if they want a momentum shift, says World Bros. It's going to be kicked into touch by Finn Smith. Once told me that no man is an island unless he's floating by himself in the pool. Did I? Don't remember that one. They've just said there, Tom Curry, everyone just got a little bit too high in that maul. And that is where that advantage started to come for the English. But Jamie George, pretty handy hooker to have, making his way off the bench, replacing Luke Cowan-Dickey, who did score earlier on in the match. We do see Caleb Muncie. He's made his way from the field. That is for Armstrong Ravula. Now, this is a big chance. England getting this one moving. Fiji drag it down. It will probably be a penalty try. That is the last thing that the Fijians can afford. Moving forward, this has to be the try for England. You would think, yes, it is. They've got themselves another one. And England, that should almost now secure this game. We are good. I didn't even know it was possible for a nose to run for like 8 hours straight. But it's a nice rolling maul there from the English, and it was well set up as well. Just create that opportunity, slowly shuffling. I did tell you, says sister there, it feels like ball game. Yeah, unless we see something massive from Fiji in the next maybe 5 or so minutes, I think they're probably done for in this matchup. And they will be disappointed because they would feel like they had a very good chance of getting back into it. You see there, Tuisova, the frustration on his face after getting that yellow card. And his team down to 14 men. A team that holds the lead at the crucial 70th minute mark. I'll take the W. Last 20 minutes, here we go, says Clint D. Now, Finn Smith, he's sitting 3 from 3, and that is a big difference between him and Caleb Muntz in this contest. Just realised Peter Gasol is playing number 8 for Fiji. I think he's in the 6th jersey, but yeah, he's been out there the whole time. Out there on the field, Finn Smith trying to bring it round, can't quite do it. That is now going to make the score after 61 minutes, 26-18. We have got the England overrated. Says Riss, the last year in the Six Nations, England only 16-15 versus Scotland and Twickenham. Says Driss. It's a pretty good one to have, though, up against the French at Twickenham Stadium. In fact, the only loss that they had was to the Irish in the first round. If they hadn't lost that game, they would have won the Six Nations. So I feel like you're probably being a little bit critical of them. You know, 1-point victories are not something that's uncommon in the world of rugby. Just look at that last Rugby World Cup and the amount of 1-point games that we did see in the later stages of the matchup. I feel like a side winning by a narrow margin shouldn't be considered as failure because they are still winning. I'd much rather win by 1 than lose by 1. I can tell you that right now. But now around the halfway line, Salisi Reasi. Oh, this could be bad for Fiwa Boso. He looks like he is not feeling too great at the moment. Looks like it might be some sort of armandry offload there. Here comes the pace being shown. Kuravuli, he's charging for the line. Can he get over? Yeah. Oh, he might have knocked it on. They may just check it to make sure that he hasn't lost it. Kuravuli should kick penalties. Muntz is not okay. You know, Muntz has made his way off the field now, so that helps. But that try has been awarded for Simeone Kuravuli. Right, they're going to check this just to see whether or not there was this mistake. Drink lots of water or else, you will get a headache. We support Southern Hemisphere teams usually. They also play faster, better rugby CCTT. And no way he lost that, says Francois. Yeah, it's just going to be in the process of diving, isn't it? We're going to see it now. Oh, did he lose control of that one? I think they're going to check this one. They'll need a different angle, though. English commentator is saying that he feels like they did lose the ball. Does he transfer it to his other hand? Kuravuli. They're saying he's lost it and the ball's off the floor or on the floor. But yet he's always in control of it, in a way. So I don't know what they're going to rule this. I have no idea what way they're going to go with this, but it is going to be a TMO check. I would give that, says Francois. And also, we have their ref will give it because they want the game to be close. So it's not given the red earlier, says Big Rig. Looks like a transfer. Ball was always in contact with his body. Yeah, I don't know. I'm watching the replay over and over again. So Kuravuli. So loses control onto the forearm. But is that counted as transferring the ball the other way, or is that counted as knocking it on for Simeone Kuravuli? I think this one's going to be a controversial one either way. Right, the decision is ball lost forward, no try for Fiji up against England. TMO Thieves, they not have a look at the miles forward pass, but this one they looking for a knock. So here's Eric there. And Josh Lord and Holland and the All Black scrum will give victory versus England. So here's Driss. Like they've just said, it is a massive let-off for this English side as they will survive again. See the frustration on Simeone Kuravuli's face. He knows how crucial that one could have been. Sounds like the knock-on from the Samoa game. So here's Dexter there. And Fiji scored, although it was removed. So 26 points to 18 the score at the moment. We see Spencer make his way onto the field. And then it's going to be for Alex Mitchell. It means that now England have got themselves the scrum feed 5 metres out from the line. Regardless, England definitely not looking good at all. So here's Gavin. I won't listen to anything otherwise, not even a little. Says it was Kyle. Ben Spencer. First chance for him in this contest. Does feed that ball and that scrum's going sideways, but the advantage is awarded to the English. Henry Pollock goes across to Spencer. Now Marcus Smith finds Dingwall, one of the vice-captains in this contest. Fiwa Bosso running out of space near the sideline. Fiji jump on the ball. I think that is advantage called over from the scrum by Paul Williams. They made about 30 metres there, the English. And then deciding to play on. All Blacks 15 would beat England, says Rhys. Now going off to the left-hand side again, it is Timo Mainavanua. Kuravoli. Cross again to Matakai Murray. Good offload, says Francois. It's going to be one of the keys for the Fijians throughout this last 15 or so minutes. They can keep that ball moving. They've got half a chance here. But the last thing that they want is for England to have too many opportunities of getting into the breakdowns and earn the steals. Who sponsors England, Amish, a betting company? Not actually too sure. We've got to see a zoom in of their kit. They've got the O2 on the front. Oh, that's going to be a loose ball. Picked up by Kalaviti Ravovo. Round the halfway line. How's it going, mate? Great commentary, says Richard. Thank you very much. Currently, this is the third of 4 games that we are going to be covering of international rugby. Next one, France versus South Africa. And where's the ref from? He is from New Zealand. That is Paul Williams. Rolling this back. Kuravuli told to use it again. Taken by Fiuabos. Oh, wow. He's been hit extremely hard by Timo Mainavanua. Got help back up to his feet, but the cross kick there from England. Ball on the inside to Tom Curry. Around the halfway line. That would have been a 4 pass, but it's claimed by Fiji. Salisi Reasi has to play halfback. Armstrong Ravula kicking it downfield, looking for a 50-22. Instead, we'll just roll into the 22-02. That is that oxygen. Says John Mills. I think it is the symbol for oxygen, but also, is it like the stadium company or something? I know that there's like the O2 Arena, and I think there's an O2 group, something like that. Fiji have less time to assemble than the Avengers compared to England, says I am nutty. Now Ben Spencer told to use this one off his left boot. We'll kick it high again. Still 4 minutes remaining of the Joshua Tuisova yellow card. Knock on from Salisi Reasi. Chance now. Ben Earl goes across Finn Smith. He sees the 50-22 opportunity. Kicks it in behind and does get it there. Very smart play from the young fly half. O2 is a telecom company, I'm pretty sure. Pollock isn't the man at the moment. Says Doc, yeah, he hasn't had a huge amount to do in this game. I think that Ben Earl so far has been one of the busier loose forwards, although Chandler Cunning himself, it is hard to look past that man with the amount of big hits that he was putting in early on. AB's barely won today. Ref blind to offside lines and tacklers not releasing before competing for the ball. If it's a fair ref, the AB's has no chance, says Johan. I think Scotland, they'll just be disappointed with how they handled that ball in the crucial moments. So they had so many chances. New Zealand got 3 yellow cards. Oh, another penalty, this time working the way of the Fijians. I guess put Tangitau in next week for Carter. A classic All Blacks wing has the size, says half court. Ben Earl outstanding like always. O2 is just like Spark for us. Okay, I'll get you. Carter, real deception, says Rhys. And I think Carter is overrated, says half court. You see, he's an interesting one, Leroy Carter, because he does seem to split opinions. But getting that yellow card, I think some people didn't like that very much. Well, most people didn't like it much, unless you were going for Scotland. Have you ever been to Fiji, Hamish? I believe it's pretty nice there. I've never been to Fiji, but one day. Hopefully, Kuravuli is a great 9 for Fiji. And the fact that he offers the kicking tee as well is massive. We see Tommy Freeman making his way off the field for the English now. Looks like Zaril Tongia Tama. Oh no, Kuravuli making his way off now for Y. Next year, Tangitau will be the 14. And yes, 3-time, depending on if they're having a political coup or not, says I'm nutty. And also Fiji will always make me think of Red Dwarf. An extra player for England, says Ramesio in there as well. But now rolling maul for the Fijians. A little bit of wrestling going on between Tom Curry and Peter Gasoakula. This one's still moving. Zaril Tongiotama strategically hanging on to this. England trying to sack it, but they have to make sure they do it legally, or they'll get themselves an advantage against them. Now back across, Sam Y goes now to Armstrong Ravula. Tom Curry trying to get that steal on the break. How many All Blacks? 15 players. Are we in the squad All Blacks for the tour of South Africa? And odds of Fiji to win from here is plus 1,400. So $200 will get you 2,800. England embarrassed no matter what. I mean, England are winning by 8 points. So I don't think they'll mind too much in that regard. And plus, I do think that in some regards, like, yes, I know you have a hatred for England, but I think you should also give Fiji some credit for how they've played in this game. Like, they are not the easy beats that some people used to say that Fiji were. They have come a long way. You know, they were able to beat England at the stadium last year. They made it through to the quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup. Cross kick attempted there, just a little bit too much on it. Picked up by Marcus Smith. Down the wing, decides to go for the 50-22 rather than having to run it himself. And now, kicking this one forward. Arundel gets it, and it's another try for the English now. Just the pace, 4 days. You can see the tired Fijian legs just weren't quite pumping as quick as they would have liked it to be. Can you believe Italy is winning against Australia? Kind of. I thought that game had potential of being quite a close one. Even all says Geza in it there as well. But Marcus Smith, like they've said, he realised that he wasn't going to win that foot race. Arundel just goes through, though, and an awkward bouncing ball. Well controlled ball game. The cardio is coming in, and got to remember Fiji is a tier 1 side. Says Dexter there. And Razor will call surely Tangitau if Caleb is not available. And we have their game over. And well done, English ref. Congratulations on helping your team win. It was actually a New Zealand referee, which I probably shouldn't have said, because now you're going to abuse all the New Zealanders. Oh, yeah, good there. That was a great try. Fresh legs all day. Yeah, only recently making his way off of the bench and already having that substantial impact. That one's missing away to the side. It's going to keep the score with 10 minutes remaining, sitting 31 points to 18 in favour of England. And Paul Win England says Driss. Amish was aware of the closeness of Italy and Australia, and England will win again. Was that Fijian player exhausted or feeling safe to stop the run? I think he was just waiting for an awkward bounce that never really came. He was a bit hesitant to go to the ball, and then there was Arundel right there ready to kick it through and chase it himself. Nice take from, I believe it was Alex Coles, and there's going to be another penalty now going against Fiji for playing the man in the air. I'm giving Fiji huge credit. They are playing incredibly well, but England technically thought should have easily won early. Overall poor performance, says Gavin. And we have got there, nothing wrong with that try. Why not? Because English scored it. As simple as that, says Eric. Arundel got gas. Yeah, pure speed for Henry Arundel. Any sort of open space. And All Blacks average will still beat this poor England, says Driss. It's going to be an intriguing game, because what I've noticed is both sides seem very happy to say that their team are out of form. But someone has to win that game next week. Although, to be fair, England and New Zealand have drawn in the past, haven't they? So maybe that's the best result. It seems like people are undecided about who they actually want to win that game. Now, Jamie George throwing this ball in, nicely taken again by Alex Coles. Come on, boys, says Andrew. We have got their Springboks would hammer England right now, says Doc. Well, the good news is we get to see it probably next week. Or, sorry, next year, when we'll get to see them go head-to-head. Oh, nicely taken. The collision there, that looked a little bit high from Ollie Lawrence, but inside of the 22, Armstrong Ravula, his kick is charged down. Awkward bouncing ball, knock on from Salisi Arayasi. So again, England going to be in a good position on the park. Ben Spencer. Goes to Alex Coles. He is tackled by Tui Sova. We have got their problem for England against the box, not even the refs. TMOs can save them, says Eric. But yeah, they don't actually play the Springboks. Oh, that might have been a try for Dingwall. They just want to check this one. We have got their rumour has it. Gareth Ferguson had to retire from being a mod. Says I'm nutty. That's not true. He's probably going to be here on the next stream. We have got their thank you, Fiji. We win some, we lose some. Congratulations, England. May rugby always be the winner. Says Luke there. Right. I think they're just going to be checking this one to see whether or not there was potentially a grounding in that scenario for Dingwall. Oh, he has it kicked out of his hands. That is well done by Tuisova. And all my love to Fiji. My first time Italy win against Australia. Says Mohadina. It would have to be up there. I think they've beaten them before, but I can't remember when. Fiji has serious talent. They beat opposition regularly. Big problem for Tier 2 nations not getting big enough games. Says Gavin. And also Marcus Smith's mustache is awful. And Australia really a deception. And lost the previous 20 games. Says a big rig there as well. But now ball is about to be fed in by England. They are 5 metres out. How did Pollock play, Hamish? Was he the man of the match? He made his way off the bench, but I think that Chandler cutting himself or potentially Ben Earl, you'd give probably one of those two man of the match if you were going to give it to someone in that loose forward trio. Oh, drop ball from Henry Pollock at the back of the scrum. It's going to be the scrum opportunity now for the Fijians. That's a shame. Australia are a World Cup winning country. Loses to Italy. Shake my head, says Robert T. And the thing is, that's going to heavily hurt Australia in terms of those world rankings, which will then put them more than likely into Division 2 of the World Cup draw. Now, no matter what, they are still going to be in the first group in Pool A, but yeah, it would be a hefty old drop for them with the way that it sits. Finn Smith is my man of the match. He's had a very solid game in the number 10 jersey, Finn Smith. I think that Ollie Lawrence also has been strong. In fact, you probably pick about 6 or 7 players for England that have actually stepped up and had a above average game, if not a great one. Now ball's there. Why? Going off to Tuisova. Still 7 minutes remaining in this contest. Now looking to kick this one towards the sideline. Pollock trying to get the charge down. Can't quite get to it. And now nicely taken by Arundel. Manages to keep the ball alive. Fiji dropping that ball backwards. And the penalty goes the way of England. Fiji's little team. Embarrassment is for England. Says Driss. I think the embarrassing thing is calling Fiji a little team. Going off to the right-hand side. Tom Curry. Now this is close for the English. Just can't quite curl over. Get onto the try line for Ben Earl through the middle. The try will be scored by Maro Itoje. And they get themselves another one. We have got the Battle of the Crusaders, should we say. And tries on Itoje, says DG. There's still 6 minutes remaining in this contest. 95 international cats for Itoje. So throughout the Six Nations next year, it's when he will be able to bring up that big milestone. And what is the Aussie score at the moment? Australia are losing by 7 points in the 79th minute, so it does look like they're going to lose that one. I say the reality, you compare the Fiji squad to England squad, lol. I think this Fiji squad is pretty handy overall. I don't think many people would call them little in that regard. The amount of hits that they're putting in this game, and they were only a couple moments away from getting right into this one. And all good Fiji, lessons for the next game. And England must worry versus the All Blacks, says Driss. See, if I was England, I wouldn't be that worried yet. I feel like once you get to that game, maybe. But New Zealand, throughout that game up against Scotland, seemed like they were purposely trying to lose. Which is why I get that you want to have that confidence, but I just don't know if it's justified as of yet, based on what we've seen from the Kiwis in that last matchup. England, they won't come into that game with a huge amount of confidence either, I don't feel. Like a 20-point win over the Fijians is pretty handy. Not many sides do that too often. And England Rugby Mountains of cash, Fiji nothing, says John there. What happened to Australia? They just got it wrong. By the looks of it, we'll have to rewatch that game later on. Nicely taken by Salisi Rayasi. Scotland is not Fiji, says Riss. That is true, because Scotland got beaten by Fiji. Going off to the left-hand side. Of course, that was a Scottish side, a bit of a mixed and match one with the British and Irish Lions. Peter Gus Solakula, Scotland nearly had the ABs, says RPC. They absolutely did. And I think that Scotland probably became their own worst enemies at the end of that one. Well, you're right, Amish. England will pick it up for New Zealand. They don't have enough to win, says Gavin. That is going to be the penalty going the way of the Fijians. And Italy won, says Wayne. So, yeah, massive win for the Italians over Australia. Dosafiti says Francis in there too. We see their man of the match contenders. Ollie Chisholm, Ben Earl, Ikanaveri, Soakola and Ravovo. Well, I think that Ben Earl's probably going to win that one then. And we have the All Blacks and England win. Our ill-disciplined, stupid All Blacks give the comeback to Scotland. Yeah, but Scotland couldn't help that, could they? They just had to play what was in front of them, and half the time that was 14 players. But New Zealand, they have had a bit of a trend every once in a while. We saw it in their first game up against Argentina in the Rugby Championship, getting themselves 3 yellow cards in that contest too. Now ready to throw this one in. 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Fiji looking for one last chance. We have there. Where's the XP for the comments? I turned it off because it was annoying people. So I learnt where the button was to turn it off, and we've done that ever since. Now, why? Searching for that ball. 2.5 minutes remaining. Besides Australia being poor, let's give credit to Italy. Been improving consistently. First game in South Africa was very good. Says Gavin there too. And obviously 17-0 at halftime. Ill-disciplined, stupid All Blacks give the comeback to Scotland. Says Driss. Now going off to the right-hand side. Armstrong Ravula finds Viliami Mata. We all mentioned with how late this game is finishing, we will pretty much be jumping straight over to that next live stream on the channel too, ladies and gentlemen. Talaveti Ravovo with that drop ball. Go and grab yourself a cuppa. No time whatsoever. As soon as this one ends, we're straight into that next live stream. Probably about 30-second break. How you doing, South Africa versus France? We are indeed. That game kicking off just around the corner. About 40 minutes away from the start of that one. Now just the 90 seconds left. I'm a nervous wreck again. Tough being a Box fan. Hard to watch. Says Gavin. Now look at it. England versus Fiji. And England is going to beat All Blacks. Great joke. Says Driss. I like the confidence. I'll be honest, you're showing a lot more confidence than a lot of New Zealanders are at the moment. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. All Blacks see with smash Fiji. Lol. Says Driss. I think that Italy was the better game to do. Probably in the long run. This game seemed close at halftime, but then England started finding their momentum, finding their rhythm, and it's starting to get going with it. A big push again there for the English fullback. That is going to be the penalty going the way of England. Yes, it's going to be tough. Game against France, says Desmond. At Sevens this month, we are going to be covering the Sevens on the channel. That one starts up in the very near future, about 2 or 3 weeks away, I think it is, or maybe 3 or 4. What's your score prediction between the Box and France? 28-18 as the one that I've gone with. Now 30 seconds left for England. They will kick this one into touch yet again. I don't think they have to try and go too deep into this game, England. They've got themselves the victory. They've got that more than 15-point win, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just look to boot this ball into touch. The last thing that you want is any sort of injuries. And Italy beat Australia 26-19. They did. Massive win. Nicely taken there for England as they look to get a rolling maul moving forward. Now Ben Spencer gets the ball, kicks it out, and that is going to be the end of the contest. 18 points for Fiji, 38 for England as they get themselves their 8th win in a row now. On quite the winning streak ever since that Six Nations game up against the Irish. That was their last loss, but from there they have been undefeated for about 8 or 9 matches, and they will look to continue that up against the All Blacks for next week. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are popping over straight to that next live stream, so of course be sure to tune in for that one, and I will see you guys in about 2 minutes' time. So, yeah, see you soon.